The Minnesota Vikings had one of the worst pass rushes in the National Football League in 2020. 27th in the league in sacks and could not get a consistent pass rush going. And that should be rectified this year with the return of the king, Danielle Hunter, from the herniated disc in his neck. Also, they spent up in free agency as well as in the draft on the edge. But why not go overkill? Why not be the overkill killers at defensive end and bring in veteran pass rusher Justin Houston, formerly of the Colts and notably of the Chiefs? And the Vikings did have some interest in defensive end in free agency, some mild passing interest in Trey Hendrickson and Carl Lawson. So bring it on, baby. Why not stockpile with Justin Houston? Background, 32 years young. Former third-round pick in 2011 by the Chiefs out of Georgia. Four-time Pro Bowler, one-time All-Pro in 2014. Led the NFL in sacks that season with 22, nearly breaking the single-season record. Spent the last 2 years with the Colts, put up 11 sacks in 2019, 8 in 2020, including one against the Vikings Week 2. Has 97.5 sacks for his career and has a career 13.5% pressure rate. Now, obviously, you are not going to be getting the Justin Houston of old. He played under 650 snaps in each of the last 2 years. Think of it as a Patrick Peterson type deal, right? Where you're bringing in a guy who's obviously a legend, a guy who potentially could make the Hall of Fame, and you use him as a rotational guy as a piece to bring in some leadership and some mentorship for the young players. And then I think that's exactly what you can get. But he is a guy who can still generate his own pass rush, and he's forgotten more pass rush moves and strategies than most defensive ends will know in their lifetime. And he would be a phenomenal resource for leadership and knowledge for this very young edge rusher room. Think of what he can do with Danielle and Weatherly and Wanham and Patrick Jones II and Janarius and Willikis. They all would benefit from Houston being around. Cap-wise, the Vikings have just under $14 million in space after the final Danielle numbers are in. And Houston, I don't think will break the bank, even though he played the last 2 seasons on a 2-year, $24 million deal with the Colts. I'd say maybe he gets around 5 on a 1-year deal. Maybe. There had been some mild interest from the Ravens of bringing him in, but I think Houston was biding his time just to get out of OTAs, get out of minicamp, and show up right before the start of training camp and do his damn thing. As a veteran, he certainly is capable of doing that. But I think he could have a role here with the Vikings, save his body for passing downs, keep him fresh for late in games, late in the season. I think depth is going to be an underrated part of the winning formula this year. He has experience with the hand in the dirt defensive end, standing up, rushing from the open and close side of the field, so he can be all over the place. Houston does have it all. Plus, maybe he wants to chase a ring here. Maybe he sees that the Vikings are building something extremely special, especially on defense, and it has to kill him just a little bit that the Chiefs won the Super Bowl the season after he left. And you can never have enough edge rushers. I'm about to whip somebody's ass. We after that ass, Jimmy. Get it. The Zimpire will indeed strike back. But your thoughts? Signing up Justin Houston? Let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. I'll support that work post on the Venmo. But until next time, Skol, production value.